So, we're talking today about what gets in your way as someone with a calling to make the world a better place. What are the patterns that interrupt you, that get in the way of your joy and your impact? And we're going to call these obstructing angels. Kind of a funny phrase, but what I've really come to see as I've worked in my own journey over the last 4 or 5 years, and as I've coached individuals and worked with folks, social entrepreneurs in the accelerator that we run, we just keep finding the same patterns for folks who have such a strong calling to make the world a better place. There are some very particular patterns that come up that get in our way. So I really want to walk through those patterns, and they may not all resonate for you, but chances are, if you have that kind of a just this undeniable pull on you to contribute at your very best, if you find yourself getting stuck, you may find yourself experiencing some or all of this pattern that I'm going to walk through. And don't worry, we're also going to talk about how to overcome that. And I'll share a 6-part framework that we use with folks in the accelerator and the folks that I coach to really break through this. So just to kind of position this, we talk all the time about these 4 pillars of joyful impact, right? Get visionary, prioritizing visionary social impact above ego-driven needs. Get real, seeking and speaking the truth to everyone, including yourself. Getting together, treating others with consideration, not contempt. And getting better, committing to daily pursuit of personal growth and joy and impact across all the areas of your life. And today we're really talking about this 4th piece, getting better. And that's what this framework, these 6 obstructing angels, and what I'm going to share with you about how we get past these. This is really in this component of getting better in your journey of joyful impact. And again, I'm working on this book, and I feel so strongly that transcending these barriers, this is a huge part of what we have to do to fix philanthropy, because so many of us who are working in social change, who are either giving money away or raising money, we're getting stuck, and we're not getting the full benefit of ourselves and each other because of the ways that we're getting stuck. So this is what I have to share, and I hope that you find some benefit in it. So what is an obstructing angel? Yeah, it's a weird purple looking emoji that I found on the internet, but no, it's a recurring state of mind that holds you back even as it's trying to keep you safe, right? So think about a guardian angel, and then, a obstructing angel is like a guardian angel that's run amok. It had a positive purpose. It had a positive intent, but what it's actually doing is standing in the way of your own growth and your own impact and joy. And it doesn't leave you feeling very good, right? And so we're going to talk about 6 of these guys and how they can play out individually and then all connected as a system, as a cycle that can really leave you stuck unless you find a way to break free of it. So, and lots of people have written about this. If you're wondering who took your joy, you want it back, then this is for you. So the first one is confusion. And have you ever felt like you don't have clarity on the concrete steps that you need to take every day in pursuit of your vision? Or maybe you've struggled to articulate the vision itself. Like you feel like, you have this calling to make the world a better place. You know that for sure, but you're really not sure exactly how to go about that. And maybe you find yourself starting each day scrolling through social media or starting in your email inbox, trying to figure out what you should be doing in that moment. And just not having that clarity. So that's a big one, confusion. A lot of us start in confusion, get stuck in confusion. There's another one though, procrastination and its companion, busy work, right? So have you ever struggled to take consistent action on like the most important elements, the things that you really know you need to do to advance your vision, your mission, your calling, or to show up as your best self in your personal life with your family? And, have you ever set time aside on your calendar where, I know I've done this, when I first started working on my book, I'd set time aside in my calendar and I would do anything except actually work on my book. And, then when you sort of feel yourself going through the day and feeling like, actually the day gets totally filled up. You're always keeping busy, even if you're not working on the things that are most important. You feel like you can't ever really take time off. Like if you took a moment just to reflect or read a book of fiction in the middle of the day, you'd feel like kind of like you were cheating somehow. That can be that feeling of getting stuck in procrastination and then filling everything with busy work that's not actually that substantive, not truly that important. So then what does that lead to? Well, exhaustion, the sense of overwhelm, reaching the end of the day and just feeling like you got nothing left. Like you just want to reach for a glass of something or just, the latest episode on Netflix or Prime or Amazon Video, and then staying up late, like watching one more episode than you intend to, or reading fiction or whatever you read at night to calm yourself down and just reading late into the night and then not getting enough sleep. And then, waking up in the middle of the night, wondering if you're really, what kind of life you're living. Are you really delivering on this calling that you feel? There must be more. And then you wake up the next morning, if you even got any sleep, and you're just, you got to start the whole day again. And there you start again, back here in confusion of starting in your inbox or your social media feed, trying to see what you should be doing. Like even these first three are a cycle in themselves. You can get stuck in these three and just keep rinsing and repeating every day and really not feel like you're making progress. And, this is especially true if you have this strong calling to make the world a better place. It's not going to leave you alone. And so as much as you try to soothe yourself at the end of the day, if you're not really aligned with that calling and really contributing at your best, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel out of alignment. And it's very easy. I got stuck in this place for years. And, people might not have looked at me and thought that I was stuck, but I felt stuck and I felt out of alignment. But I know this is kind of heavy, but like this isn't even the worst part yet, because you get these three going and you're doing this every day. And then what starts happening? Well, you get anger, right? Because you're not feeling good. You're not feeling in alignment. And so, do you ever feel like you're not showing up as your best self with your loved ones, your colleagues, the people you really care about the most? You find yourself getting just irritated beyond measure at the least little thing and then lashing out and then regretting it later? Or do you find yourself like withdrawing and holding back and not showing up with the kind of presence that you aspire to? And then meanwhile, like your inner voice is like speaking away there about everyone else's failings and shortcomings and just all the disappointing behavior of those around you. So, that's anger, right? And then what does that lead to? Well, for most of us, we'll cycle between anger and sadness, right? And so when that flash of anger fades, do you feel yourself feeling guilty, sad about hurting the people around you, not living up to your best self? Do you feel like you're not living up to your potential, not doing justice to your calling? And do you feel like uncomfortable, mixed emotions when a friend or a colleague or someone out there in the social media sphere does something amazing? Like you're excited for them, you feel good for them genuinely, but it also kind of makes you feel bad about yourself. Like I've been there. So, this again is just a cycle that then leads to the next piece, which is, self-absorption. It's like the last kind of obstructing angel here. This is this sense that like you just get caught in your own head and you're not really living up to your calling because you lose touch with it in some ways. And it makes it harder also to see the larger systems in which you're embedded. You lose your ability to think critically, to look at issues of race and the systems that function to perpetuate the very outcomes that you may say you want to change. And so when you get this self-absorption and tunnel vision, it makes it that much harder for you to actually answer that calling in a powerful and impactful way. And that in turn, of course, leads you back right up to the top here to confusion, where you're starting off wondering, what should I be doing today? And this whole thing can just keep going. And, it's a dynamic. It's a system in itself. It can be self-contained and you can go and go and go like this. In the middle of this, fear is really the gear that is powering this. Well, you might say fear of what? Like, it took me a long time, 20 years of my life, to realize that I had been living, even though I've been living in fear, even though that I had this clear calling since really my time in college, that I wanted to do something about what's wrong with American society, the promises that we've never kept, what pulls us apart instead of bringing us together. And, I've lived that out through 10 years in affordable housing, lots of years as an advocate, working in philanthropy. I've had that calling the whole time. But for a long time, really until I began my own journey in the last 4 or 5 years, I was really powering that by fear. And as a result, I was really caught in a cycle a lot like this. You may not relate to every piece of this, but chances are, again, as I said, if you have this strong calling to make the world a better place, and you're getting stuck in some way, you're feeling like you're not getting as far as you want, it's very easy to get caught in this cycle. Not to mention that, if you're in the midst of a global pandemic, an awakening to racial injustice, there are lots of reasons externally why it might be especially challenging for you in this moment, and why it might be especially easy to get caught in a cycle like this. But back to this issue of fear. What is it? What kind of fear are we talking about? How would fear power your calling to make the world a better place? That sounds kind of opposite, like it shouldn't work that way. Well, a big part of the framework that we really work with is around understanding your psychology in terms of human needs, and understanding what role fear is playing in your psychology. So this is, this big diagram. We won't go into all of this here, but the piece we want to focus on is that you have, and we all have, kind of the same human needs. Tony Robbins and Chloe Medanis have a framework called 6 Human Needs. The idea here is that there are innate human drives. We all have the same ones. We meet them in different ways, but your fear of not being able to meet your most important needs can get you caught in a cycle like that. And why do we call these obstructing angels? Is the angel part is that it's trying to protect you from not meeting your needs. And meeting those needs is the most fundamental thing you're going to do as a human being. One way or another, you are going to meet 4 basic needs. And the first is safety, security. Do I feel safe? The second is, you could call it novelty. Do I feel excited, entertained? Tony Robbins calls it variety. The third is around social status, significance. Do I feel like I matter to others and to myself? And the fourth is, do I feel connected? You might be seeking love, but ultimately you need to feel connected. And you'll meet these needs positively or negatively. The point being that whatever you're doing right now, you have found a way to meet these 4 needs. And so these obstructing angels are standing on your shoulder, holding you back from change, because they're not sure that you're going to be able to meet your needs in this new context, that you will, that when you push forward and really pursue that vision and really lean into your own growth, that somehow you might, it's not a rational fear, but that it's a very primitive fear that somehow you won't be enough, that you won't measure up, that you'll fail, and that, your whole world will come crashing down on you. And so that's how those obstructing angels get so much of a hold on you, because it's really wired deep in you to protect your ability to meet those needs. And change is inherently destabilizing to the vehicles, the systems that you have for meeting those needs. But there's an infinite variety of ways you can meet your needs. And that's really a big part of this journey to joyful impact. And any journey of self-development is opening your eyes to the opportunity you have to rewire yourself and the world around you to meet your needs in a different, more positive, creative way. So there is tremendous good news here. You can break out of this cycle. And what's even, really remarkable and affirming, in my own journey, I've probably read at this point 250, 300 books in this whole arena. And there is just incredible convergence across thousands of years, different faith traditions, philosophies, recent scientific research, and it really does come together in some remarkable ways around human flourishing and what it takes to really live into your best self and deliver on that calling that you feel. If you like this video and you want to access the worksheet or any other material that goes with it, just click the link below or head on over to joyfulimpact.co. That's the website where we have all the material we use for working with coaching and personal development for change agents. You can set up a free account in the members area, and you can also check out the blog where we have new content coming out all the time. Why are we putting all this out there for free? Because the world has never been more in need of a new greatest generation of change agents. I hope this material is helpful to you, and if it is, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That will help us spread the word.